Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday to everybody. Do a little recap here what we're gonna do today. I got this travel chain all ready to go back on. It's got all its new links in it. All it needs is fished back in around the car body and all that, and around the sprockets, and we'll pin it back on, and it should be done, unless we decide we can take a link out. This is the chain that was in really good shape, other than I had to knock a link out because it had a broken bushing. So I took a link out here, brought this together. That gives me more new links down there to work with when I put it back in. I had to use bolts because the old pins were too big to go into the new links. There's a little bit of spec difference, but it's no big deal. I'm just using grade 8 bolts. I'm going to throw back in there and tack weld the nut so it can't back off. So I'm going to get that nut welded on, get one more link pinned in, get this pin welded in, and then this chain is ready to go back on. So at some point today, we're going to go look at a project that we're going to bid on, and but I'm not going to show that. It's going to be a surprise. I'm going to keep that one a surprise. So we got to even make sure we get the job first. So anyways, I'm going to get started and see if we can get her to travel out of the shop under her own power today. So hopefully we can. The only thing is I might have to cap these hydraulic lines from the cylinder, or from the cylinders, because I haven't got the cylinders back yet. I don't know. It might not squirt any oil out when it runs. I don't know. I know the excavators do. I don't know if this system will or not. So that might be the limiting factor to crawling it out of the shop today, because I don't know if I have enough caps to cap all them, but we will see. So let's get started. Okay, we got both track chains ready to go back on the machine. I laid them out. I wanted to make sure that they are exactly the same length or fairly close to the same length. If they are not, they will actually cause these machines to travel crooked. I had that problem on my drag line when I got it. One chain was one link longer than the other, and believe it or not, it would not track straight. So knocked the link out and put them back together. Sure as shit, started traveling straight. So wanted to make sure that these were the same length. When I was working on the last one, I kind of lost track of what I cut out and couldn't quite remember. So I was like, I better lay them next to each other just to make sure that they're the same length. So now the chain that's in pretty bad shape will be a little longer, but not enough to really make a difference, I don't think. So now the fun part is getting them threaded back under there, because the nice thing about my drag line is the sprockets are on the outsides of the track frame, so they're a lot easier to get to, and you don't have to try to fish the chain behind the pads. So this one's going to be a little trickier, but I think I can get it. So and Dad's strength's not here to help me, so I'm going to see if I can do it by myself. So this might be fun. So let's get started on this part of the project. And kind of went up to rack our brush pile that we have on the last project, and it's pretty damn cold out today, and the cold showed its ugly side. The 200's going to need a set of batteries, and I guess I didn't realize them batteries are already 6 years old, so it is time. So I got to get a set of interstate batteries ordered for it sometime this weekend. So hopefully my buddy down the road's got them in stock, and I'll have them by Monday. He usually keeps a good stock of them at home. So that is a nice thing about having an interstate battery dealer right down the road. So, okay, let's get these chains put on. Well, Dad and I got one of the travel chains fished back up in there. It wasn't fun. There's not enough room under there to really move around, and so took a while, but we got it. So now we've got it almost back together. So we lack that much right now of being back together. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring the Bobcat in, and we're going to roll the Gradall forward a little bit, and that'll bring this chain around, and it should bring me just enough around, take enough slack out that I can get that pin in. So right now I got my little 1/4 ton come along with a cable sling, using a cable sling to draw the chain together, but I ran out of travel on that, and I ran out of slack on the front sprocket, and it's still hooked in this back sprocket. So when we roll it forward, it should be just enough to bring them together, and I can drive the splicer pin back in. Okay, so we got that chain all put back together. So now we're going to go work on the other side. I actually ended up having to add a half link back in. So it did end up fairly tighter than it was before. But if I wanted any tighter, I'm going to have to get these adjustments freed up and actually move the whole sprocket to get that tighter. But as of right now, that looks like a extreme project. We're probably going to have to clean them up really good and use a rosebud to heat them up, and it's just something I don't need to do right now. That can wait. So we're going to move on, get the other travel chain on, and then we'll be able to see if it'll move on its own. Hopefully it will with no problems, but I'm sure there'll probably be something, but who knows. Might crawl right out of here with no problems at all. So let's see what happens. So I'm working on getting that drive chain on that side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to air up the machine. Uncle Doug suggested to air it up and release that side brake. I need just a little bit more to get that chain together. So hopefully I release that side brake and get the sprocket to turn a little bit. And we'll be able to get that chain on. Because I wanted to get that chain as tight as I possibly could, because that's the one with all the wear in it. So if I can get that one fairly tight, it will help it track straighter. So let's see what we can do here. Hopefully by airing it up with shop air, it'll release what I want it to release. It's been in the shop a little too long. It's starting to get some plant life growing in the bucket. So need to get it going. Need to get that bucket shined up. So hopefully, let's see if anything moves. If you watch that spring there on the front of the undercarriage, it should move. Oh yeah. That one's moving. See if the other one will move. Sweet. Good deal. So now that I know them will move, that'll release and apply the brakes to the undercarriage and the digging dogs in there. So hopefully now we can release that brake and turn that sprocket. Let's see what happens. Well, now that the travel chains are all back on, it's all ready to move now. I'm going to take the Bobcat. I'm going to pick up this barrel of oil that we drained out of the valve body when we were working on the relief valves and stuff. I'm going to pick this barrel up to the top of the tank. I'm going to throw a funnel in the top of the tank, and we're going to put the oil back in. I got a little bit of oil there I need to put back in. And then we'll start it, and we'll see if it'll track. Okay, let's see if she'll move on her own. I need to do. I need to get some stuff lubed up. The jaw clutches under there aren't freely moving enough. So, but we did get it to move, so that's a plus. So if you enjoyed this episode of Dirt Green Steel, give me a like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you all in the next one.